What's up, everybody? It's your boy Sterling from ENT, joined by my good friend Joseph.
What's up?
It's a great day today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Excuse me. That's how excited I am right now. That's how excited I am to bring you guys some banger content.
We're hyped.
Welcome back to ENT Fantasy Football. Today we got a good video for you guys. This is a classic on this channel, and it's our first time this season, 2022, that we're bringing you starts of the week. I'm not trying to brag.
All right.
I'm not trying to toot my own horn here.
Let's hear it.
But last season, I called the Jalen Waddle breakout the week of. He was my start of the week that week, and he broke out, and now he's Jalen Waddle. And so these are our starts of the week. So that's how you know it's verified, stamped, that these guys are going to be freaking beasts this week for you guys.
So we're going to start off with quarterbacks as always. Yep. So I'm going to go with mine. I'm going to go with one, Jared Goff. He dropped a 40-piece last week.
Yeah, a 40-piece. 40-piece.
It was a freaking shootout last week.
Oh, yeah. That's the good thing about the Lions, bro. Yeah. And so I was talking about this in my my waiver wire video this week. Check that out if you haven't already. But wait till after this video. So I was saying, I'm gonna do some speaking right now about your start of the week. So Jared Goff is averaging 27.9 fantasy points so far this year. He just dropped a 40-piece, and he's the QB5 on the season right now. QB5.
Of course, QB5 probably isn't sustainable for him, because he's Jared Goff, and slip-ups do happen.
Yeah.
But I do feel like he can at least drop 25 points a week. I have a feeling they're going to be in a lot of shootouts this year, especially with teams like the Seahawks, especially. Yeah. This is his time to prove that he wasn't lucky that 1 year with the Rams. Like, this is his 1 year to prove that he can drop 25 points a game every week.
So now into my quarterback start of the week. My quarterback start of the week for this week, week 5, is Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is at home against the Houston Texans defense. Let's be realistic. Trevor Lawrence, I believe, is going to tear up that defense. Now, Trevor Lawrence, the first 3 weeks of this season was phenomenal. In real life, in fantasy. Unfortunately, last week he played the Eagles on the road in that game where it was raining. His hair was drenched in freaking rain.
Yeah.
You could tell how much it was raining that week. If you throw that game into the mix, which was kind of a dud for him, he's averaging 20 fantasy points this year. But if you take that game out, which I'm going to do that because, first of all, the Eagles defense has been really good this year. It was in the rain, on the road against the best team in football right now. Mm-hmm. If you take that game out of the equation, he's averaging 24, 25 points. So I think Trevor Lawrence is going to do very good this week against the Houston Texans at home. I think he's going to have a good week for you. But I have, for my running back start of the week, Damien Harris. Now, Damien Harris, by the way, this week is playing the Detroit Lions. Now, the Detroit Lions are the second worst rushing defense in the NFL. And by the way, you know that guy Rashad Penny?
Yeah.
You know how on last week's Panic Button video, we were talking about how he's not doing very good?
We're talking shit on him.
Yeah, we literally were. We were sitting here disrespecting Rashad Penny. Think about it. If Rashad Penny, who hasn't even in PPR leagues, this man hasn't even gotten into the double digits yet. He put up a 30-piece against this Lions defense. And Damien Harris, without starting quarterback Mac Jones, the Patriots are going to be leaning on the run more. Yeah. And I know what you're going to say. Ramondre Stevenson. But in most weeks, Damien Harris has still gotten more work than Ramondre Stevenson in the rushing game.
Yeah.
And so, in my opinion, I still believe Harris is safer than Ramondre Stevenson. And so, Damien Harris is my start of the week.
So, for my running back start of the week, it is going to be one Saquon Barkley. So, I'm not sure if you guys have heard about this, but Daniel Jones twisted his ankle. And I seen that he was practicing in some aspect this week. And then Tyrod Taylor out with the concussion. So this is what I'm thinking happens. They're playing the Packers. You're probably thinking the Packers have a good defense. But at the same point, if their third-string quarterback is running out on the field this week, are they really going to trust him to throw the ball?
And also another good point to add on to this is that the Giants receiving core right now is
depleted.
Injured. Very depleted. Very injured. And Saquon has been great this year.
Yeah.
And that's going to continue this week. And they're going to be leaning on him. He's going to be explosive. And Saquon Barkley is a good pick.
He had 146 rushing yards and no TD last week. The touchdowns are going to come. My realistic projection for him this week, over 100 yards and a touchdown. He is him.
So, for my wide receiver start of the week, I have Jamar Chase. Now, Jamar Chase has a juicy matchup this week against the Baltimore Ravens defense. Now that's interesting to say because historically the Ravens have been a good defense. But this season they've been absolutely god-awful against the pass. And guess what?
What?
Jamar Chase, his rookie season, torched the Ravens in both games.
Oh, yeah.
Both games he went crazy. He had me sitting here as a Ravens fan like, oh my gosh, dude, I hate Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
But I love Jamar Chase for fantasy football this week. He's going to go crazy with the juicy matchup in a game that, in theory, should be a very high-scoring football game.
Yeah.
Because you know what the Ravens are going to do. The Ravens' offense has been very good this year. Obviously, we know what the Bengals are going to do. And Jamar Chase, the last 3 weeks, has been kind of quiet.
Yeah, he's been
kind of quiet. So he's due for a big game. He's got an amazing matchup this week. So I think he's going to go crazy against the Ravens this week. What realistically could happen in this game is Jamar Chase might have a quiet first half.
Oh, yeah. No doubt, bro. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
And then once the second half comes around, this man's going to blow up. Because for some reason, they forget that the football game is actually 60 minutes and not like 38 minutes.
But for my wide receiver, I have one, Drake London.
Ooh, okay.
Drake London of the Atlanta Falcons. So let's toss last week out. Let's not look at last week.
Mariota completed a whopping 7 passes.
We can do that on 2 hands. How many?
Yeah, 2 hands.
7. Marcus Mariota isn't only going to throw 7 passes.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Realistically speaking, I don't know why he only threw 7 passes. But that's not for me to decide. But this week, Drake London is playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who last year had one of the worst pass defenses. This year, they're middle of the pack. But Drake London has been decently consistent this year.
And this also should be a very positive game script for Drake London.
Yeah.
Because we already know they're going to be behind in this game.
Yeah.
We already know that they're going to have to throw the ball. And Drake London, with the way that Kyle Pitts has been used this year, Drake London is the number 1 pass catcher on this team. And so they're going to have to throw the ball to him. Like, they have no choice.
They have no choice. And Drake London has been consistent. He's been solid. He's played well. Last week was a little bit of a interesting game for the Falcons, considering Marcus Mariota only completed 7 passes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Drake London, he's looked great. And it's hard for me to not say, let's start him.
So here's the thing. If they have no Cordell Patterson, they don't use Kyle Pitts.
Nope.
Who else are they going to throw the ball to?
They're
Zacchaeus?
Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
Zacchaeus, bro.
Definitely not. So, Drake London.
Start of the week.
Start.
Stamped and verified by ENT Fantasy Football.
Start. Now let's get into the tight ends.
Who's your tight end? Okay, I'll start off with my tight end start of the week. Now, my tight end start of the week is Darren Waller.
Darren Waller.
Now, Darren Waller's playing the Chiefs. And Darren Waller has had some really good games against the Chiefs in his career.
Yeah.
And with how bad the tight end position is this year, or not even this year, with how bad the tight end position is for fantasy football, period. Especially with how like Kyle Pitts has been performing, with how some of these other options have been performing. Darren Waller is one of the top tight ends, and he's going to be one of the top tight ends this week against the Chiefs. And I don't even really have to say that much about Darren Waller because the Raiders are going to have to be throwing the football around.
Yeah.
Darren Waller, in like the last 2 weeks, he hasn't been up to Darren Waller's standards, but he did start the season. First 2 weeks, he had some good games.
Yeah.
And so I think he's going to bounce back this week in a divisional matchup. I think Darren Waller is my start of the week for the tight end position.
So, my tight end, this is what I'm going to go for right here.
Okay.
I'm feeling one Gerald Everett of the Los Angeles Chargers. For tight ends, he's been very consistent.
Yeah.
He's been very, very consistent. And he's kind of in that he's in that role that what's his name was in. Jared Cook was in.
Yeah.
Like, they throw the ball to him. They trust him. He can make plays. And Gerald Everett has been, like I was saying, he's been consistent. And it's because the Chargers pass the ball a lot.
Yeah.
And they're always going to find, Justin Herbert tends to find the open person. So Gerald Everett hasn't necessarily had a breakout game, so to speak. He's had a nice little 16 points, a nice little 11 points. Last week he had 9.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why not? What's the reason not to start him? I mean, sure, they're playing. Let's see who they're playing.
But wait, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Who's Gerald Everett?
He's a tight end.
It's Gerald Everett. Everett.
Gerald.
But we know Gerald Everett.
Yeah.
Gerald Everett has been a good tight end back when he was on the Rams.
Yeah.
He's always been solid, and now he's on the Chargers, number 1 tight end on the team on a really good passing offense. So Gerald Everett, and like you were saying, for the tight end position, Gerald Everett has been very good this year.
Yeah. And when he's averaging about six targets a game.
Yeah.
That's,
for a tight end, that's very good.
For a tight end, that is very good.
Especially on an offense like this where he's gonna be getting high value touches like in the red zone.
Yeah.
He's going to be getting targeted.
They play Cleveland.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that should tell you all you need to know.
They're playing Cleveland. They lost to the Jets.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson, you need to go and gritty.
They also lost to the
Falcons.
They also lost to the Falcons who threw the ball or completed the ball 7 times.
Sounds like fun to me.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a game your grandpa would watch and be like, this is how football is supposed to be played.
Yeah. Here it is. Another stamped ENT Fantasy Football Start of the Week. Gerald Everett of the Los Angeles Chargers.
Gerald Everett.
Gerald.
The man himself.
So yeah, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Go down below, like this video, comment on this video if you're either starting any of these players or comment your own personal starts of the week.
Because there's many players that we did not mention.
Yes, we mentioned 8 players. So yeah, go down below, like, comment, subscribe to this channel. We just dropped a banger video, which, by the way, in my personal opinion, this is the greatest video that we've ever dropped on this channel. Guess who?
Guess who?
Shout out to Cruiser Almighty for editing that video. Thank you so much. We're out of here.